Yeah, I really liked all the additional characters. I thought it made the storyline less one-dimensional of like a classic heist, because you had quite a lot going on with the journalist and his relationship with the two anchor people and that side of things, and then them interweaving the family and the sales guy or whatever he was, the guy doing coke in the office. It was actually that was a bit of a surprise, because I thought he was about to dob in his wife. That's where I thought that scene was going. You didn't expect him to actually try and be the hero and be a bit of a good guy in the end. So I thought that was done quite well as well. And you got a bit of a background to the cop on the radio. I thought those bits made it more interesting for me, because otherwise, what was the runtime? It was over 2 hours, which for a film like this can be a bit of a drag, especially when I think I checked. I think the action kicks off like 25 minutes in, so it is just like an hour and 40 of explosions and shooting otherwise. So I think they add quite a lot to it.
Yeah, it's true. It had quite a little bit more depth. What did you think of the one thing that threw me slightly the whole time is the like the terrorist motives, and because they were trying to get into the vault, weren't they? But they're so relaxed all the whole time. Like Alan Rickman and stuff like that, they're just like sat in that office the whole time, even when the FBI show up or whatever. Like they're not perturbed by it or anything like that. And I was sort of I don't know. What did they?
He was wanting the FBI to turn up.
He was planning on it.
Right from the start, he was saying he made it known that it was part of the plan for them to come in. We didn't know why he wanted them to come in, but when they did, it was about what was it? Turning off the electricity for the building. That was the last lock for the vault or something, wasn't it? So it seemed like he had it all under control right from the get-go, and that he'd prepared for A, B, and C to go wrong. So for him to be calm made sense to me.
Yeah, that makes the more sense. I mean, I quite liked Alan Rickman in it, to be honest.
Yeah, so did I.
It's actually again another one of his really early roles that sort of shot him to more notoriety. But he wasn't really that well known before then. Hence why he was probably cast in that role in a movie like Die Hard.
Yeah, I think the film does well, because at the time it obviously would have blown people's minds, because it was so ahead of its time with the stunts and everything. The action scenes would look massive, but now looking back on it, because they are such loved actors and it's seen as a classic movie, in my opinion, I felt like I could look past like the obvious cheese and and
I think it's an important accreditation to give it is the legacy that it left. Like I think when Bruce Willis was cast, he wasn't a famous actor in any way. He wasn't the typical sort of 80s action movie hero. He's more of an everyday chap. Yes, he gets in his tank top and it's very gritty. He's crawling around in glass and covered in blood type thing. It does sort of define the entire genre of films that followed it, but it made his entire career from someone that they could have cast like Arnie or like Sly Stallone type thing, and I just don't think it would have worked at all. I think Bruce Willis did really, really well, and you can see why he made a career out of that one film.
I think they actually did ask Sylvester Stallone initially, or they wanted him to play the character. I think initially.
He was good in it. I mean, I love a Rambo. I don't know if I've mentioned, but basically you just would have been Rambo in the city, and it would have been badass.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty certain they asked one of them to do it. Yeah, what does it say there? All of whom? So they all. Here we go. So Schwarzenegger, Stallone turned it down. Willis was paid $5 million for the role.
He must have done a lot before then. What did he do before to be on $5 million in 1988?
Just TV work.
I know like the 90s were like the heyday of people earning 20-25 million a movie, but that's mad.
TV work, apparently. At the
TV
time,
work.
TV actors...
He hadn't done any action films.
Yeah.
He's got a bloody good agent.
It propelled Willis to one of the most highest paid Hollywood actors. From a TV actor to a Hollywood actor being one of the most highly paid. £5 million to do Die Hard. To say some cheesy lines. It had a budget of $25 to $35 million, and it's raked in $141 million at the box office, and has become a cult classic. Really,
over time, it's probably great.
Not to mention the 4 sequels, something like that.
Yes, that's just this film exactly.
Don't you prefer films like this though, where you can see the stunts and everything to a CGI laden film? I actually prefer watching movies sort of pre 2005, just because they feel so much more real. Like I really.
That's why I like Tom Cruise movies.
Oh no, I hate Tom Cruise so much.
No, but he's in for the stunts.
Yeah, I don't like him, but I like the stunts.
Fantastic. Like, all the missions.
Or John Wick. John Wick's got good stunts.
Yeah, John Wick. Yeah,
John Wick is choreographed.
What did you think of the elevator sequence or the ventilator shaft sequence? Did you rate it?
Yeah, I thought it was really good. Was that like the first time it's done? Because I feel that sort of thing's been repeated in so many like Bond movies and everything since then. That must have been quite groundbreaking. Like all the camera angles were pretty cool as well, like hanging off the buildings and stuff.
Yeah. I think that sequence was the first to do it, or first to create a sequence where the action hero is like really claustrophobic, and like has to jump from A to B. I can't think of other movies that it's in, but I'm sure Die Hard did it best and did it first.
Mm. Is there anything that other than what James has mentioned about a couple of bits, is screaming out that people really didn't like about Die Hard?
Did you guys like the bit when Hans Gruber is pretending to be a civilian trapped within the building? That bit I think was one scene for me that I think I particularly griped on me. I was just like, I don't buy this guy. I don't buy anything about him being a civilian in this scenario.
Yeah, but neither did Bruce Willis.
Wasn't it the point that John didn't buy it either, and he knew the whole time?
Bruce Willis knew as well, didn't he?
But why did he not deal with it sooner? Is the point? I found myself just like, it's so obvious. Just get rid of him. Like, you have this opportunity to kill him right now.
Take him out.
Yeah, but he's a cop, isn't he? So he can't. I guess he couldn't.
His morals. His moral compass.
Yeah, you couldn't execute someone. Whereas, like when he shot the other people, they were like
shooting him,
trying to kill him. I guess.
Yeah, but I know what you mean, James. It didn't make complete logical sense. It felt like it was there just because the screenwriters thought, it would be kind of interesting if we played them against each other, not knowing who one the other is really, but it didn't really set itself up properly. I think you would have picked another action. Like he wouldn't have acted because the way that Bruce Willis played it was like he actually believed that it was this civilian, and then there was no point where it was made clear that it was then Hans Gruber. So I get that it was a bit strange. Like it didn't quite add up, that sequence. It just felt like it was there.
I thought it all made sense.
Yeah, I guess he would have recognised his voice as well, actually, come to think of it, because they've been on the walkie-talkie the whole time, haven't they?
Plus, realistically, he was probably aware that he wasn't going to give, even if it was a civilian, he wasn't just going to give him a gun. So maybe regardless, because he never knows who's round the corner as well. He's been hunted for the last hour by all these terrorists, and he's, maybe it's just a way of whoever he would have met, he could have just given them a gun that isn't loaded, and then if it is Hans Gruber, he would reveal himself by trying to shoot him or whatever. So, or if it is a terrorist, they'd try and do that. So, I thought that sequence worked quite well. Because I was just like, would you think
there was one bit that did annoy me actually at the end when the German guy comes out of the rubble with his machine gun all of a sudden, and I'm like, you were literally hanging, choked from a chain for about 15 minutes in the movie, and were quite clearly dead.
What did he pick up? Was it that guy?
Yeah, it was the same guy.
Oh.
It was the guy that he'd throttled with a chain, and it cuts to him dead and everyone walking past him, and then all the rubble's fallen on top of him as well. And then 10 minutes later, he all of a sudden goes, "Oh yeah, I'm getting scared again," and get up and point his gun. I was like, okay, that bit didn't need to be like that. They could have filtered the cop in shooting someone in a much better way.
Well, one big question then: is it a Christmas movie? That's the running joke, is that Die Hard is or isn't a Christmas movie. Whenever there's votes of the best Christmas movie of all time, Die Hard always wins it.
Any film with the end credits of Let It Snow is a Christmas film.
Yeah, it opened up as well. I'd put it down as a Christmas movie.
I think it had enough in it for it to be a Christmas movie.
I think it did.
I thought it would have less, to be honest. With how much it's debated, I thought it would have less. I didn't realise that the opening scenes would actually be Christmas songs with snow, and I thought they'd just sort of mention in passing it was December 25th.
Yeah.
Yeah,
also,
I agree.
Set in LA, it's not like it's going to be covered in snow, is it? Anyway, so I'd put it down as a Christmas movie. I put it down as a movie I would watch again at Christmas. Maybe not watch it at some point during the year, but I'd certainly probably watch it again at Christmas. It'll be on my thoughts now of being one to watch.
Yeah, I'm gonna. I think it'll become a regular.
Yeah.
I really want to. I really now actually want to watch the sequels. Is anyone else?
Yeah, sort of.
Yeah, I did too.
I'm intrigued.
Apparently 2 is alright. 3 is where it starts to go.
Or is it Die Hard? The
How many are
names
out?
of them.
I feel
are
like there's a new one on Netflix.
Yeah, there is a fairly new one. Yeah.
Probably like 5 or 6 of them.
What is it?
Yeah, Bruce is getting that 5 million paycheck.
Yeah, exactly.
The names of them are the funniest ones. Die Hard with a Vengeance. What have we got?
Die Harder.
Die Hard with probably. Die Harder with a Vengeance.
Die Hardest.
So Die
It's coming
Hard.
out. Bible.
Die Flaccid.
Die Hard, Die Hard 2, Die Hard with a Vengeance, Live Free or Die Hard, A Good Day to Die Hard, Die Hard is back.
Horrible.
It's like the old version of Fast and Furious. Just...
Good Day to Die Hard.
That's meant to be horrible.
And the poster says Yippie Ki Yay, Mother Russia. Right, I'll see if I can find it.
Someone at marketing had a beer before coming up with that.
Hold on. I'll send it to you on WhatsApp.
That's great.